Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We've got a question for you. What's that one Generation 1 Transformers episode that's lived in your head rent-free? For me, it was seeing the Dinobots for the very first time. The G1 series gave us over 90 episodes of iconic characters and unforgettable stories, and for years, fans like you and I have debated which ones are the best. So today, we thought we'd look at 10 of our favorite Generation 1 episodes. So let's get right into it. Before we get too deep into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. War Dawn, Season 2, Episode 44. This episode started with a big argument. The aerial bots, a team of Autobot jets, are bickering about whether saving a bunch of puny humans is even worth their time. Their argument is cut short when they get a weird energy signal from their home planet, Cybertron. They all hop on board the giant robot Omega Supreme and head out to investigate. This is exactly what Megatron was waiting for. He follows them to Cybertron, where he's built a time machine. His plan was to trap the aerial bots in the past, and after a bit of sweet-talking from Starscream, the gullible aerial bots are tricked into walking right into the time machine and get zapped 9 million years into the past, back to Cybertron's golden age. There, they meet a friendly young dock worker named Orion Pax, who has a major case of hero worship for a new group of flying robots he's seen that turn out to be Megatron and the Decepticons. The aerial bots try to warn him, but Orion is starstruck and gives Megatron a tour of the energy storage facility where he works. Of course, it's a trap. Megatron and his forces attack, mercilessly shooting down Orion and his friends. The heartbroken aerial bots carry Orion's broken body to a wise old robot who agrees to rebuild him. When he's finished, Orion Pax is gone. In his place is a bigger, stronger robot who calls himself Optimus Prime. The aerial bots are stunned. Just as they're about to be wiped out in the past, the Autobots in the present manage to fix the time machine and pull them back. The aerial bots immediately combine into the massive Superion, take down the Decepticons' secret weapon, and save the day. Later, as they're heading home, Optimus has a stunning realization. He understands that the aerial bots were the very ones who saved his life when he was just Orion Pax all those millions of years ago. War Dawn single-handedly establishes the pre-war history of Cybertron and gives us the origin of the hero-villain dynamic that defines the franchise. Seeing the gentle, naive Orion Pax's journey to becoming the heroic Optimus Prime is surprisingly powerful. The story is brilliantly structured, using the aerial bots' journey as a framing device that gives the historical events a personal feel. It adds tragic weight to Optimus Prime and his conflict with Megatron. Dark Awakening, Season 3, Episode 8. For a generation of kids still reeling from seeing their hero die on the big screen, this was an incredibly mature and unsettling plot. The concept of a zombified Optimus Prime is terrifying, and the episode handles it with gravitas. The final moments, where Prime makes the conscious choice to sacrifice himself for a second time, are both tragic and heroic. While on the run from Galvatron and the Decepticons, a group of Autobots led by Rodimus Prime decide to lay low in a giant mausoleum ship dedicated to their fallen comrades. Inside are the remains of legendary heroes like Ironhide, Prowl, and the one and only Optimus Prime. At the same time, Daniel, exploring on his own, gets a fright in a dark room full of robotic remains and swears he saw Optimus Prime moving. To calm the boy down, and against the better judgment of the other Autobots, Rodimus opens Optimus's tomb, only to find it empty. Before they can figure out what's going on, the Decepticons show up and a battle breaks out. Just when it seems that the Autobots are done for, Optimus Prime himself appears and saves the day, scaring off the Decepticons. Everyone is shocked and confused by his return, and Optimus can't explain it either. Overjoyed, Rodimus Prime eagerly hands the Matrix of Leadership back to Optimus, turning back into the more carefree Hot Rod. This is despite warnings from Kup and Ultra Magnus about Prime's strange, damaged appearance. With the Matrix back in his chest, Optimus's heroic nature starts to fight against the Quintesson's evil programming. He then turns on the Autobots and sets the mausoleum to self-destruct before taking off. Back on Cybertron, Optimus lies to the other Autobots, telling them Rodimus and his crew were killed by the evil Quintessons. He orders a full-scale attack on a supposed Quintesson base, and the loyal Autobots follow without question. Meanwhile, Hot Rod and his friends escape the doomed mausoleum and race back to Cybertron, trying to warn the fleet about the trap. Hot Rod manages to confront the zombified Optimus, who, in moments of clarity, begs Hot Rod to stop him. It's revealed the Quintessons had stolen and reanimated Prime's body to lead the Autobots into an ambush. The true Optimus, thanks to the Matrix of Leadership, briefly regains control, returns the Matrix to Hot Rod, and sends the Autobot fleet to safety. In his final act, the irreparably damaged Optimus Prime sacrifices himself by flying the flagship into the Quintesson's trap, destroying it and a solar system in a massive explosion. Rodimus, once again the reluctant leader, can now only vow to live up to the legacy Optimus left behind. The Golden Lagoon, Season 2, Episode 27. While a few Autobots are hanging out on a beach, they get ambushed by a handful of Decepticons. In the middle of the fight, the peace-loving Autobot, Beachcomber, wanders off and finds a hidden glen filled with friendly animals. The main attraction is a golden pool of a substance he identifies as Electrum. As he's taking it all in, a rock slide forces him back to the battle, but not before the Decepticon Thrust spots the pool, jumps in, and coats himself in the liquid. Beachcomber gets back to his friends just in time to see Thrust show up, now completely invincible. Thanks to his new golden armor, Thrust shrugs off every blast the Autobots throw at him and manages to kidnap Perceptor and Sea Spray. He takes them back to Decepticon headquarters and tells Megatron all about the magical pool. Wasting no time, Megatron gets the entire Decepticon army to take a dip, making them all invulnerable. They test out their new powers by gleefully shooting each other with no effect. The Decepticons, now unstoppable, easily defeat the Autobots in their next encounter, and even the mighty Omega Supreme can't put a scratch on them. Meanwhile, Beachcomber, feeling guilty for leading the cons to the Electrum, gets captured. With their enemies on the ropes, the Decepticons plan their final attack on Autobot headquarters. Back at their base, Optimus Prime learns the secret to the Decepticons' powers. Just then, Powerglide, who had been spying on the Decepticons, reports the location of the Golden Lagoon. At the same time, Beachcomber and the other prisoners manage to escape and head for the lagoon, where they meet up with Prime and the rest of the Autobots. Seeing it as their only chance, the Autobots all jump into the pool. In the Golden Lagoon, the visual of the two invincible armies laying waste to the beautiful glen is a direct example of the destructiveness of war. The episode's heart, however, lies with Beachcomber. His discovery of the beautiful paradise and his subsequent sorrow over its destruction gives the story a genuine emotional core. Personally, it's a very emotional episode since it ends in quiet despair. The final showdown is a bizarre one. With both sides covered in Electrum, they are evenly matched. Their laser blasts bounce off harmlessly, tearing apart the beautiful landscape instead. The battle rages until the Electrum on the Decepticons begins to wear off. Realizing they've lost their advantage, Megatron orders a retreat, but not before destroying the lagoon out of spite. The Autobots celebrate their victory, but Beachcomber is left to mourn the destruction of the beautiful paradise he had found. The Key to Vector Sigma, Parts 1 and 2, Season 2, Episodes 39 through 40. Divided into two parts, this episode builds the mythology of the series with the introduction of Vector Sigma, the source of all Transformer life. When the Decepticons prove too nimble on the ground, Megatron gets an idea. He has his troops steal a handful of sports cars and gives them a Decepticon upgrade, creating a new team of ruthless road warriors. He dubs them the Stunticons. But to truly bring them to life, he needs to travel back to Cybertron and use the supercomputer known as Vector Sigma. After a quick struggle, Megatron gets his hands on the key to Vector Sigma from the ancient Autobot Alpha Trion and brings his new destructive creations to life. The Autobots, learning of Megatron's plan, race to Cybertron to stop him, but they're too late. To counter this new ground-based threat, Optimus Prime decides they need to take to the skies. Finding old drone rockets, the Autobots plan to build their own new team. There's just one problem. They can't activate Vector Sigma without the key Megatron now has. In a moment of great sacrifice, a dying Alpha Trion merges his own life force with the computer to give life to the new jets, the Aerial Bots. Before they leave Cybertron, Alpha Trion warns Optimus that the key has a dangerous side effect on Earth. It can turn organic life into metal. Back on Earth, the Stunticons are running wild, and the newly created Aerial Bots are off to a rough start. Their leader, Silverbolt, is ironically afraid of heights, and the team is disgusted with the humans they're supposed to protect. But in a moment of courage, Silverbolt conquers his fear, catches up to a fleeing Megatron, and destroys the key, saving Earth. With the planet safe and their confidence found, the Aerial Bots officially join the Autobot cause. More Than Meets the Eye, Parts 1 through 3, Season 1, Episodes 1 through 3. As an introduction to the series, this saga of 3 episodes is nearly perfect. It establishes the core personalities of Optimus, Starscream, and the ruthless Megatron. The pacing is adequate, moving from the dying world of Cybertron to the battlefields of Earth with a great sense of scale and adventure. Long story short, the war on the planet Cybertron was going badly for the good guy Autobots. With their energy sources depleted after ages of fighting the evil Decepticons, the Autobot leader, Optimus Prime, makes a tough call. They have to abandon their homeworld and find a new source of fuel somewhere in the galaxy. They board their ship, the Ark, and take off, but the Decepticons, led by Megatron, are hot on their trail. A chase through an asteroid field leads to the Decepticons boarding the Ark, and during the fight, both ships spiral out of control and crash land on a prehistoric Earth. They all lay dormant inside a volcano for 4 million years until an eruption in 1984 woke them up. The ship's computer automatically repairs and gives them new Earth-based forms, starting with the Decepticons. Megatron's mission is simple: suck the Earth dry of all its resources and use that energy to finally conquer the universe. Their first attack on an oil rig, however, is what awakens Optimus Prime and the rest of the Autobots. Despite the Autobots' best efforts, the Decepticons rack up victory after victory and gather huge amounts of energy from dams and mines. Things get so bad that the Autobots even try a clever trap with a giant hologram, but Megatron sees right through it and turns the tables on them. With their massive spaceship fully repaired and loaded with stolen energy, the Decepticons are finally ready to leave Earth and return to Cybertron as conquerors. In a last-ditch effort, the Autobots launch a full-scale assault on the Decepticon ship right as it's about to take off. The attack fails and the ship soars into the sky. Refusing to give up, Optimus Prime straps on a rocket pack and flies after them, only to be shot down. Just when all hope seems lost, a surprise hero emerges. The Autobot, Mirage, had snuck aboard the ship invisibly and sabotages the controls from the inside, causing it to crash into the ocean. The Autobots celebrate their hard-won victory, but deep beneath the waves, a metal hand pulls open a hatch. Megatron is still alive, and it's a subtle yet scary reveal, wouldn't you say? The Secret of Omega Supreme, Season 2, Episode 30. We included this episode because, in our opinion, it's a masterwork of character building. It transforms Omega Supreme from a silent weapon into one of the most tragic figures in the G1 universe. The flashback sequence showing a happy, friendly Omega is genuinely heartbreaking when contrasted with the vengeful robot he becomes. The Constructicons steer a massive asteroid into Earth's orbit. Their boss, Megatron, plans to mine it for a super powerful ore. The Autobot scout, Cosmos, spots this and calls it in. Optimus Prime decides to bring in the big guns, Omega Supreme. But when Prime talks to him, he senses a deep-seated grudge Omega has against the Constructicons. Pushed for an explanation, Omega shares a sad incident from their past on Cybertron. Omega Supreme was once a cheerful guardian robot, and the Constructicons were his best friends. They were architects who built the magnificent Crystal City, but their friendship was shattered when Megatron used a device called the Robo-Smasher to corrupt the Constructicons, turning them into Decepticons. They tricked Omega into leaving his post and then destroyed the beautiful city they had created together. Devastated, Omega hunted them down, not for revenge at first, but to try to fix them. His attempt backfired spectacularly when the now evil Constructicons ambushed him and forced him into the Robo-Smasher. He managed to break free before the process was complete, but the damage was done. The experience stripped him of his emotions, leaving only a cold, burning desire for revenge. Back in the present, Optimus Prime, now understanding the situation, orders Omega to stand by, but when a sample of the asteroid reveals that it's actually organic, Optimus Prime realizes he needs Omega to destroy it. It's too late. Fueled by millions of years of anger, Omega ignores the order and attacks the Constructicons on the asteroid. In his rage, he cracks the asteroid open, unleashing a giant alien monster that makes a beeline for San Francisco. With the city under attack and his other Autobots powerless against the creature, Prime confronts Omega. He reminds him of the good robot he used to be and appeals to his sense of duty. The words hit home. Omega abandons his fight and lures the creature back to the asteroid. After it finishes its meal, the monster flies off into deep space, leaving Earth unharmed. With the crisis averted, Prime personally deals with Megatron's mining operation. It ends on a hopeful note, with Optimus thanking Omega, who expresses a glimmer of hope that one day he might be able to feel something again besides the need for revenge. The Ultimate Doom, Parts 1 through 3, Season 1, Episodes 11 through 13. This three-parter takes the Autobots to their absolute limit and forces them to make impossible choices. It's a high-stakes adventure that demonstrates the show's ability to tell grand, serialized stories. The whole thing kicks off with a classic Decepticon trick. They team up with a nasty human scientist, Dr. Arkeville, and create a diversion so they can sneak up on the Autobots' base and snatch Sparkplug Witwicky. Arkeville slaps a mind control hypnochip on Sparkplug, turning him into their first human slave. This is all part of a much bigger, crazier plan to build a giant space bridge and literally pull their home planet of Cybertron right into Earth's orbit. The idea is to drain Earth of all its energy while its gravity tears the planet apart. Even when the Autobots rescue Sparkplug, the chip's influence makes him sabotage their headquarters and willingly return to the Decepticons. And the crazy plan actually works. When Cybertron appears in the sky, Earth goes haywire with storms, earthquakes, and tidal waves. To make things worse, the Decepticons use their army of mind-controlled humans as shields during their attacks, forcing the Autobots into a terrible position and leaving Spike heartbroken to see his own dad fighting against them. Figuring they need to get to the root of the problem, a small team of Autobots, along with a determined Spike, takes a risky trip to Cybertron. Their mission is to find out how the mind control chips work. After sneaking into the Decepticon fortress and grabbing the data, the Autobot inventor Wheeljack manages to whip up a device that can break the chip's hold on people. They rescue Sparkplug and go back to Earth for the final fight. Back on Earth, the final battle erupts. While Starscream is off doing his usual traitor routine with Dr. Arkeville, the Autobots make their move. They successfully free the human slaves, but Megatron escapes on a shuttle packed to the brim with stolen energy. In a stroke of genius, Optimus Prime realizes that the massive energy explosion from that shuttle is the only thing powerful enough to push Cybertron away. He gives the order to fire. The plan works, knocking Cybertron out of orbit and saving the Earth. Of course, this is Megatron we're talking about. Floating in the wreckage of his ship, he vows his revenge, proving that evil is never gone for long. Heavy Metal War, Season 1, Episode 16. A brand new team of Decepticons disguises themselves as regular construction vehicles to steal parts for Megatron. They bring back the stolen components to a temporary base where Megatron is building a machine that can transfer all the unique powers of his warriors directly into his own body. To make sure his plan works, Megatron proposes a one-on-one duel with Optimus Prime. The rules are simple. The winner gets to stay on Earth, and the loser has to pack up their army and leave forever. Being the honorable leader he is, Optimus can't resist a chance to end the war peacefully and agrees to the challenge. While Prime prepares for a fair fight, Megatron sneakily uses his new machine to absorb all of his troops' abilities, from Starscream's null rays to Skywarp's teleportation. As a result, the duel is a complete blowout. Megatron, now ridiculously overpowered, mops the floor with a confused and outmatched Optimus Prime. Believing he was simply beaten, Prime honors the agreement and prepares to lead the Autobots into exile. Meanwhile, Megatron had sent the Constructicons to the Autobot headquarters to destroy their main computer, Teletron 1, before it could figure out his trick. But the computer sounds the alarm, awakening the mighty Dinobots to defend their home. The Constructicons are tough, but the Dinobots are tougher. Just when it seems like the Constructicons are finished, they show their ultimate secret. They can combine into a single colossal robot named Devastator. The defeated Autobots return to their base, and their human friend ship gets Teletron 1 to analyze Prime's battle damage. The computer confirms that Megatron used a whole arsenal of different powers, proving he cheated. With the deal now off, the Autobots rush outside to help the Dinobots fight Devastator. Thanks to a clever hologram and a perfectly aimed shot from Optimus, Devastator is broken back down into the individual Constructicons, who are then promptly knocked into a convenient pit of lava along with the rest of the Decepticons. But as the Autobots begin to celebrate, Megatron's hand emerges from the molten rock, vowing that the Decepticons will rise again. The reveal of the Devastator is one of the most jaw-dropping moments in the entire series. Rather than being a lame new character, it was a whole new level of threat that raised the bar. This episode is also a showcase for Megatron's utter lack of honor, and this makes his rivalry with Optimus Prime even more entertaining. Needless to say, the action is top tier, and it's easily one of the best episodes of all time. Enter the Nightbird, Season 2, Episode 19. At a tech expo, the Autobots are checking out a human-built female ninja robot called Nightbird. The robot's creator, Dr. Fujiyama, is proudly showing her off when the Decepticons crash the party. Because the place is packed with humans, the Autobots can't risk a fight, and this allows the Decepticons to easily swipe Nightbird and bolt. A very embarrassed Optimus Prime promises the Doctor he'll get his high-tech ninja back completely unharmed. At Decepticon headquarters, Megatron is giddy. He has his insectoid expert, Bombshell, give Nightbird a major power boost and reprogram her for evil. The new and improved Nightbird is so effective that the first thing she does is smack Starscream across the room. Delighted with his new weapon, Megatron sends her on a solo mission to steal something called the World Energy Chip from the Autobots' own base. With her sneaky ninja skills, Nightbird actually succeeds, but she gets spotted on her way out. The Autobots give chase, but they're in a tough spot. They have to try and capture her without breaking their promise to not hurt her, which proves almost impossible. As they struggle, Megatron watches from afar, openly praising Nightbird and wondering aloud if she should replace Starscream. This, of course, makes Starscream furious. Enter the Nightbird is a fantastic Monster of the Week episode. Nightbird herself is an unforgettable one-off thing. Silent, swift, and armed with an arsenal of ninja weapons, she presents a unique challenge that the Autobots can't simply blast their way through. This episode shines by focusing on drama and comedy. Eventually, the Autobots manage to trap Nightbird in an energy net, but before they can celebrate, the Decepticons arrive to rescue her, and a massive brawl breaks out. This is when the jealous Starscream makes his move. He swoops in and blasts Nightbird with his null ray, knocking her out of commission. Infuriated that Starscream ruined his shiny new toy, Megatron abandons the fight to chase down his treacherous second-in-command, leaving the deactivated Nightbird behind. Fire in the Sky! Season 1, Episode 13. Fire in the Sky is the best when it comes to character development packed into a single episode. It introduces the powerful old friend on the opposite side trope, which would become a staple of Transformers storytelling. The episode starts out with snow in the desert in the middle of July. The Autobots quickly figure out that the planet's weather is going nuts and trace the problem to the Arctic. Turns out, the Decepticons have found a giant crystal that taps directly into the Earth's core, and they're using it to suck out all of the planet's heat and turn it into energon cubes. While digging around in the ice, they stumble upon a massive but frozen robot. Starscream is shocked to realize it's his old buddy, Skyfire. He explains that millions of years ago, before the war got really ugly, he and Skyfire were scientists exploring ancient Earth. A bad storm separated them, and Skyfire was lost and presumed dead. After they thaw him out, a very confused Skyfire is convinced to join the Decepticons, mostly out of loyalty to his old friend. But he's a gentle giant, more of a scientist than a warrior. The breaking point comes when Starscream orders Skyfire to execute a group of captured Autobots. Skyfire refuses, and he couldn't bring himself to do it. Enraged, Starscream blasts his old friend. Luckily, it was all an illusion created by the Autobot Hound to save his teammates. When a wounded Skyfire sees the Autobots are okay, he finally understands who the good guys are. During the final battle, Skyfire makes his choice. He dramatically declares himself an Autobot and turns on the Decepticons. Marvelous verdict! It's amazing how well some of these stories hold up even decades later, and kudos to the creators and voice actors who brought this universe to life. But honestly, the best part of Transformers is the community. It's all of you, so thanks for watching and keeping the legacy alive. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be awesome, and consider subscribing for more such content. What Transformers topic should we take on next? Let us know in the comments down below. We're always looking for new ideas for videos. As always, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.